Here we are in the month of January in the 2024-2025 NBA season, and the Houston Rockets, they're looking like the team. They're looking exactly like the team that we thought they were going to be. We talked about this all off season long. The Houston Rockets come into this season fully healthy. They're going to be one of the more dangerous teams in the Western Conference. Now, the Houston Rockets, they have took it above and beyond. Not only have they become one of the most dangerous teams in the Western Conference, but they've become one of the best teams in all of the NBA. Right now, the Houston Rockets, they are on a 4-game winning streak, and they currently have a record of 26-12. So we can officially say that the Houston Rockets are back. And we look at the Houston Rockets, one thing that's been really consistent for this team all season long is their hard-nosed defense, as they've ranked second in the NBA in defensive rating all year long. The only team that's better than them defensively is a team that's historically great. So the Houston, a team that's historically great on the defensive side of the ball. So the Houston Rockets, they've been masterful defensively, and then also they've been the most physical team in the NBA all season long. Every single guy on this team, they love to compete and they love to go after the basketball. They love to go after the ball if it's a loose ball, and they love to go get a rebound. They love to go get a rebound if it's offensive or defensive. They're leading the NBA in total rebounds per game, and they're also leading it in offensive rebounds per game. And that makes sense when you have guys like Alperen Sengun and Steven Adams at your center position, and then you have all these athletic forwards and guards on your basketball team. So the Houston Rockets, they've been able to lean on that all season long, and now a new trend is starting for the Houston Rockets, an exciting trend, a trend that we knew at some point this season we were going to see. And it's crazy because the Houston Rockets offensively, these guys have had a lot of doubters, and I will never forget this because I kind of already, I don't know what it is, it's something about Bob Myers. Seeing him on NBA Countdown and ESPN, I don't know, I don't really like his vibe. But and this was and I had this feeling prior to him saying this on the NBA Countdown halftime report. But it was the semifinals to the in-season tournament, and the Houston Rockets, they were playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it was a very low-scoring game. And the Houston Rockets and also the Oklahoma City Thunder, nobody's shots was falling at a high clip because it is two defensive-oriented teams. But Bob Myers at the halftime report, and I tried to find this clip on YouTube, but they don't have a halftime report on YouTube. But Bob Myers, he was basically saying that he didn't think that the Houston Rockets, that they were going to have enough offensive firepower or enough shooting for this season. But you would think, him being an NBA executive, he would see all the offensive potential that the Houston Rockets have, because they have in my opinion, they have two offensive juggernauts, two very young NBA players, by the way, and Alperen Sengun and Jaylen Green. But I think both of these guys have they're two crazy talented offensive players, and that's why I never really got too worried about the Houston Rockets. I never thought if it was a matter of can these two guys be great on the offensive side of the ball, but it's just a matter of when, and the win is happening right now for Jaylen Green. Jaylen Green, he's probably the best perimeter scorer on the Houston Rockets right now, and I'm not going to be that humble for him, but he's one of the best from a talent standpoint. He's one of the best perimeter scorers in the NBA. If you just sit down and watch Jaylen Green with your eyes, he can do a lot of things in the NBA that a lot of players cannot do. But Jaylen Green, as of late, he's really starting to heat up. He started to heat up a little bit in December, and now he's really starting to heat up in the month of January. I think in his last 5 or 6 games, he's had at least 27 points, and he's doing it against some really good defenses. The Houston Rockets on their 4-game winning streak. In that 4-game winning streak, they played the Memphis Grizzlies 2 times, who are one of the best teams, and they're one of the best teams in all of the NBA, and he was able to get 27 plus 2 times on the Memphis Grizzlies. So these are great signs for the Houston Rockets, and this is honestly the perfect time for it to happen, because when we look at where we are right now in the NBA season, this is where games are about to start to matter more. Before we know it, we're going to be at All-Star Weekend, and we know once All-Star Weekend is over, it's damn near time for the playoffs. So this is a perfect time for guys to start finding their strides and start finding their shots. And the Houston Rockets, they're not just finding their strides individually, but this is starting to show up as a team as well. Now, the last time I talked about the Houston Rockets, I know it's been a while, but when we look at their offensive ranking, they were like in the 17th ranking to the 20th. I just checked it before this video. Now the Houston Rockets, they ranked 11th in the NBA in offensive rating. So they're starting to trend in the right direction on the offensive side of the ball. And the Houston Rockets, they could potentially be a team to end this season that have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense, with that defense being second in the NBA. So whenever you have those two things going for you, not a lot of teams have a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. Only the elite teams in the NBA do that. So you know when you have that going, you're going to be able to make some noise when it comes to the playoff time. So I wanted to point that out. Jaylen Green, he's been playing at an elite level as of late, and it's honestly so fun to watch because we look at Jaylen Green, man, when he's in the zone, when his shot is falling, it's really a thing of beauty, and it's so fun watching him get downhill, the handle he has on the basketball, and then how easy it is for him to finish around the rim. He is just so much more athletic than everybody else on the basketball court on the opposing teams, because we know the Houston Rockets, they're full of those crazy athletes over there. But Jaylen Green, he had him around. That's one thing that he's really been good at this entire season, is putting that pressure on the rim and finishing around the rim. And also, the last time I talked about him, man, he was having career lows in points per game. He was having career lows in his field goal percentage, career lows in his 3-point percentage. That's also starting to raise. He's now at 21 points per game, and he's shooting the basketball at a I want to say it's a 43% from the field. We still want that to come up a little bit, and a 34% clip from the 3-point line. But at the beginning of the season, that was at like 29% from Jaylen Green. So he's trending in the right direction. Alperen Sengun, we know what we're gonna get from him. He's been pretty solid all season long on the offensive side of the ball, and then he also gives us those nights where he has like a crazy performance where he can't be stopped. He also had an outstanding game against the Memphis Grizzlies in their first matchup. He had about 25 plus points. He had 10 plus rebounds, and he was being ultra aggressive. When Alperen Sengun is ultra aggressive and he's made up his mind that nobody's gonna stop me, nobody's gonna stop my post game, nobody's gonna stop me diving to the rim, he is truly a very hard basketball player to stop. And then to make it a lot, to make him a harder cover, he's a really good post playmaker. And then also a couple weeks ago, he had a really good game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, dropping 38 points on a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. So I think the Houston Rockets, they've been able to lean on their identity all season long, dominating teams physically on the board count, and then also through their defense. And now their patience has paid off because their best perimeter scorer is finally starting to get hot. Jaylen Green is definitely in the middle of a hot streak right now. Alperen Sengun, we know what type of damage he's going to be bringing to the game each and every night. He plays the right way. When he needs to be aggressive, he does, and he also knows when to defer to his teammates. And then another thing that's been great for the Houston Rockets. Now, one thing has been unfortunate. That's the injury of Jabari Smith Jr. He hurt his hand. I think he was, from the point of his injury, I think he's going to be reevaluated in about 6 to 8 weeks. So that's very unfortunate to see him go down. But the Houston Rockets, they were finally, and I know they were itching to do it, man. They get Thompson into that starting lineup, and since he's become a starter, he's just been doing a lot of great things for the Houston Rockets. He's getting doubles. He's scoring 15 plus points per game, and I don't know what it is. Whenever Jaylen Green got on his hot streak last year, is when Thompson was in that starting lineup. But whenever Jaylen Green and Thompson, whenever these two guys are on the basketball court together, Jaylen Green, he plays so much better. But Amen Thompson, man. Amen Thompson. I don't know what to say about him. I remember the first time I ever heard about the Thompson twins, and I'll be 100% honest. My little brother, he told me about them. He told me to check them out. I'm like, okay, where they from? He was like the Overtime Elite League, and I was like, man, they ain't doing nothing from no Overtime Elite League. And then I remember the first time I saw Amen Thompson. I'm looking at Amen Thompson. I'm watching his Overtime Elite highlights, and then I didn't really he didn't play in the summer league because he hurt his ankle. And then I saw him last year. In some of the highlights of the games. I'm looking at the way he moving, and the way that Amen Thompson moves with the basketball in his hands. He has like this perfect blend of athleticism, twitchiness, but it's also very shifty at the same time. And then he's 6'7". So at the time, just thinking like, man, I'm really wishing that Amen Thompson had the basketball in his hands more, because it's very, very entertaining. So to see him getting more TikTok as of late, and like I said, I know it's unfortunate at the injury of one of his teammates, but still, what he's been doing since he's been a starter has been outstanding. He's literally a Swiss Army knife plus, because he does a lot of things, but he doesn't just do them a lot of things well. He does a lot of things great. So the Houston Rockets, these boys have something special going right now. I've been really excited. I've been because I've been wanting to talk about the Houston Rockets for a while now, and I tried to do this at the beginning of the video, but it was too hard, so I saved it for the end. But recently, at the beginning of the year, I lost my grandfather, and he was somebody that was super close to me, probably for as long as I can remember being conscious. Up into high school or going to college, I probably saw my granddad probably 90% of the 7 days out of the week. He lived right up the street from my mom's house, and my mom and dad, they worked a lot, so they would just drop us off at my grandparents' house. So it's really like my granddad. He raised me. So just lost him, and that shook me up a little bit. And then also I came down with the flu, because I've been seeing the Houston Rockets. They've been going crazy, and I was like, man, I gotta make a video, but I literally, I couldn't talk. And then it probably was best for me, take a little time to grieve, man. And during that time of reflection, it just made me think that I need to be a little bit more appreciative, definitely more appreciative of people like my grandfather, my family, but also more appreciative of this. I definitely don't think I say thank you enough. I definitely didn't think I would ever have any platform like this. To think that there's almost 6,200 people that share this mutual love for the game of basketball, and that decided that while I like listening to him so much that I was going to subscribe. I never seen this coming from like the first time I ever made a video. So I just want to say thank you guys so much, especially the Houston Rockets fans. The Houston Rockets making these videos, you guys have definitely made a big difference on this channel. So I just want to say thank you. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.